Okay, today we're going to talk about percent problems. It's a very simple general math type topic. We're going to find equivalent fractions, decimals, and percents and solve problems using percents. We're going to do those as equations since that's what we've been studying in algebra. First of all, as you probably know, a percent is a ratio that compares a number to 100. So let's look at our textbook. On page 171, page 171 has a meteorology type application. It says relative humidity is a common example of percent. For example, at 30 degrees Celsius, 1 cubic meter of air can hold no more than 26 grams of water. At this amount, the relative humidity is 100%. At other amounts, ratios are used to determine the relative humidity. If 1 cubic meter of air at 30 degrees Celsius contains 6.5 grams of water, the relative humidity is 25% because 6.5 over 26 reduces to 1/4 and equal to 25%. Now remember, every day if you get out your pencil, you get out your calculator, okay? So try to use the fraction button. And will it let you do a decimal in a fraction? I've seen some yes and some no. If it's no, then you're going to have to do division, okay? And then if your calculator is leaving it as a ratio or a fraction, then you're going to have to convert using your fraction to decimal if you can't reduce it yourself. Make it into a decimal, see if it's equal to 0.25. See if the fraction reduces to 1/4. That's just to see what your calculator will do, okay? Now this is called a complex fraction because it has a decimal in the fraction. You would never leave a decimal or a fraction in the fraction. That's not reduced. That's like leaving 4/8 and not reducing it to 1/2 or something like that, okay? Alright, then we have these examples. We're to write as a decimal and to write as a fraction. How do you change a percent into a decimal? Drop the percent sign and what? Go which way? 2 places to the left. Make it into 75/100. 75/100 is also written this way. And I'm sure you know it can be reduced to 3/4. So there's my decimal. Here's my fraction. Alright, 110%. Drop the percent sign. 2 places to the left. That would be 1.1 as a decimal. 110 hundredths as a percent, or we could do this 1 and 1/10. This would reduce to that. Okay, so anything that is a percent is per 100, and you just reduce that. .4%. This already contains a decimal, so to go 2 places to the left, I'll have to add a 0. And so that would be 0.044 as a decimal, which would be 44 what? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. How many times will 4 go into 1,000? How many times will 4 go into 100? 25. So how many times will 4 go into 1,000? Add a 0, right? 250. How many times will 4 go into 44? 11. If you type this into your calculator, 44, fraction button, 1,000, it should reduce it for you. Some people have a calculator that has a simplify button on it. SIMP, anybody have one of those? Does yours have one of those? Okay. Then yours does not automatically reduce. You have to hit that simplify button, and you just keep hitting it until it's all the way reduced. Sometimes you have to, like it'll reduce it by 2, and reduce it by another 2. So. But everybody else's, when you hit equal, it should just reduce it for you. That's just knowing what your calculator will do. Do you guys get this joke? It's a pie chart. Y'all don't get it? Pie I have eaten. If I have not eaten, it's a pie chart. Yep.
I got it.
Is it Monday?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Here's the 2 things we need to remember for today. We're going to write equations with our percent problems. what we have to remember is means equals, and of means multiply. We've already discussed this when we did verbal expressions. Is equals and of is multiply, but we're going to apply it here. Now I know different people learn different ways, but I found overall that the easiest way for everybody is just to write a simple equation. So especially if you've never really understood before. But whatever it's asking for, what percent or what number is your variable? Of means times 80. Is means equals 15. There's my equation. Now my coefficient is after my variable, but that's okay. If I'm solving for x and I've got to multiply 80 in the way, I divide both sides by 80. Alright, on your calculator, what is 15 divided by 80? Alright, good job, thank you. Now when you have to be careful, when you're looking in your problem and it asks you for what percent, don't leave a decimal. If it's asking for a percent, to change a decimal into a percent, we go the other way. Which way are we going to move our decimal? To the right, too. And so x would be 18 3/4, or 0.75%. Either way you want to write that is correct, because 0.75 and 3/4 are the same. Alright, so we're using our calculator. We're using is and of as clues to how to write the equation, and that's pretty much it. Simple equation. Probably be able to get finished with our homework today if we understand what's going on. Alright, let's write down this example. Find 115% of 200. Find is another way of saying what number is. What number is find. Okay? And so what number is my variable? Is means equals. 115% I make into a decimal, so drop my percent sign, move my decimal 2 places to the left, and of means to multiply. And so all I need to do is type that in. And what is 1.15 times 200? 230. 2 times 15 is 30. Alright, so any questions? Easy stuff, right? Alright, what would this equation look like? 45 is 40%, and you can write that 0 or not. Of means times a variable. So there's a simple equation. We're going to get rid of the number that's multiplied by the x. Divide both sides by 0.4 or 0.40. What is 45 divided by 0.4? Okay, what'd you get? 112.5. Am I looking for a percent? So I don't change this over to a percent, just this one here. Does anybody disagree? Does anybody have a question? Does anybody have a problem with doing simple equations, setting them up with is and of? Somebody does. I know they do. I've always done is over of. Alright, just set up your equation using the simple equation. Alright, let you try this one. Write the problem, set up the equation and solve it. And let you guys come to the board and solve some. Remember, you're looking for what percent? What's this right here? So is it like, is it just like 0.1 is equal to 1%? Okay. Is it equal to 1%? Because we got to move our decimal over 2 places to the left. Like here's our decimal. Good enough. That's a big old decimal. So here's our decimal. So if we're going to go 2 places, yeah. Okay. Good job. Anybody have a question? All right, here's next. 25 is 40% of what number? Write the problem, set up the equation, see if you can solve it. Divide, since it's multiplied by 5%. You guys agree with 62.5? Now, this lesson is always like this. Some people are like, oh, I'm so bored, I've done this, and I've gotten it. And some people are like, I never did understand percents, and this is hard for me. So and you're not by yourself, I promise you, it's half and half. So does anybody have a question at all? To set up your equation, wherever is placed, then you put an equal sign. Wherever of is, you put a multiplication symbol. You just set up your equation. From there, it is a simple, it's called simple equation, like lesson 3.2, chapter 3, okay? So, this part from here down. All right, let's practice a little more. Now remember, find means what number is. And so really, I've just got these reduced. 70% of 150 is what number is 70% of 150. Doesn't really matter which one you look at. I was just going to show you it can be written either way. All right, so write the problem, give the equation, and solve. See what you come up with. You guys agree with 105? This easy stuff? Is it getting better? A little better? What's a good question? What's the hard part to understand? Do you understand how to set up the equation? Like, this is where the variable goes. And this is where the equal sign goes. And this is the time sign. Bring your numbers down. That's how you know whether you divide it by both sides or you're just multiplying. It's just however the equation's setting up. See here, the variable was over here by itself, so I didn't have to do anything both sides. All right, let's try these two. 50% is half of the number. So 17 divided by 0.50 or 0.5 is 34. Questions? Is it getting better? Right. All right, try this one. A lot of times by now someone has asked, well, my calculator keeps giving me a fraction. How do you make it into a decimal? Everybody's good with that. We know about that button by now. Okay. So that would be 0.2. And then the question says what percent. So make that into a percent. So that would equal, huh? Twice, yeah, twice to the right. I see what you're doing there. I thought you were multiplying that by something. So 20%. Okay, gotcha now. All right, questions? Everybody's awake? Everybody's doing good? All right. Do you guys know what a VCR is? This is my favorite problem in the book. How old is this book? Example 3. How many of you guys still have a VCR? Yeah, we got the DVD VCR combo at our house.
That's what we have.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever watched a videotape and had to rewind it? So, have you ever bought a VCR for $239.40? I hope not. If you did, tell me, and I'll tell you another one, right? So, maybe we should go here with a Blu-ray. How about that? Does that sound better? I don't even know how much those are. How much is a Blu-ray? They're not much. Oh, what am I going to do here? I don't know how much. A small television? Small television. Have y'all seen the new televisions? Concave, and they've got like, oh, it's real people in that TV. I mean, it's like so real. You ever seen the episode of I Love Lucy where she takes all the guts out of the TV and she's in the TV as the show? Y'all like I Love Lucy? That's some good TV right there. Andy Griffith Show's still the best. Y'all think so? What's the best show ever on television? And don't say Dukes of Hazzard, boys. Ethan goes, oh, man. All right, so we've bought some item here for $239. It's advertised as 40% off what was the original price. All right, so basically we're asking for, if it was 40% off, then $239.40 is 60% of what price? Okay, now wait a minute. 60% not in the problem. Well, if I took 40% off, then it's 60% still on, right? So if I'm shopping and there's a 40% sale, I just find 60% of my price, right? I mean, I don't have to do it the way my elementary teacher taught me to find 40% and then subtract it. That's too much work in the head, right? So I can find 60%. What's the fractional equivalent to 60%? 3/5. So I can divide 5 into it, multiply it by 3. So you can do this just while shopping around. All right. So set up the equation. So we would have $239.40 is 0.60. And then of means times x. Divide both sides by my 0.6 or my 0.60, whichever way you like to write that. And $239.40 divided by 0.6. How much was this VCR? Can you believe people paid that much? How much was it, Denver? He was just gonna write the answer down. $3.99. Wow, bargain it. $2.39. What about that? When VCRs first came out, they were expensive.
Like that much cheap.
Oh yeah. I mean, like at our house, we didn't have one for a while. Then you buy the tapes, you know. Put those in there and rewind that little sound.
How much would that be?
Then, $25, I guess. For the tape, VCR tape, yeah. When they were the thing,
Hey,
you
hey.
know. Huh?
Like just one?
Yeah.
How much is it?
All right, how much is what's the newest PlayStation? 4, how much is it? Well, they're 500. So they don't even fit in here. So we could get a PlayStation 3 for about this much, maybe.
No, if I take first, $100.
They're $100. All right, I don't know. I give up. All right, so we're gonna play a game. We're gonna try to see if this works. Internet must be slow today. All right, so you guys know, you like your characters?
No.
No?
They're like Johnny person. His eyebrows though. Yeah. He's just like.
Yellow is apparently a superhero. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right.
Those were a super.
All right. Changing fractions to decimals, changing fractions to percents, changing percents to fractions, changing percents to decimals. All right. The blue team won the coin toss. Gets to choose the first question. So is that you guys? Are y'all blue? All right, so choose the first question. Like, you would say changing fractions to decimals for 300. Like, it's Jeopardy. You guys ever watched that show?
Do we gotta say what it is?
Oh, yeah, you gotta give me an answer.
Go with this one.
Yeah.
Where?
The changing fraction.
I'll go with this one?
Yeah.
All right, you guys are gonna give me the answer to this right here?
Sure.
You only have 116 more seconds. But I think you can beat that. Yes, ma'am.
A.
See,
It's
so-
A. It's A. It's A.
Boys, y'all better
It's A.
agree with somebody. Go A. Oh, I gotta ring in. So I guess anybody can answer it. All right.
Oh.
All right. So you guys just go next, keep this thing in order, pick us a question.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
It was yesterday.
As your gift, we will not sing to you, because it would be so bad.
You already
All right,
said
so give me a category and a number. Percents to fractions for 300. All right. It's what? B.
But we gotta ring it first.
Okay. Pick a question. I'll give everybody a chance. Let me give everybody a chance. Do what now? Tell me. Right here? 300. Okay. Only 112 more seconds to go. This is a non-stressful game. I hope. Yes.
D.
You guys agree with D?
I don't think they're doing
I want to
it.
say D.
Down the road. We're going with D. Molly says no.
Wait, can we ring it?
Where are we at?
Yellow.
Go with it.
I think it's D.
Go with it.
Go with D.
Hey,
We're going with D?
Go with it.
Correct. All right. Pick something for us. This one right here? Y'all can ring in. Y'all can ring in since y'all not gonna get a 300. So whoever's first
Hey,
goes through.
hey.
What?
Hey, get A.
A. So y'all are yellow. I'm going with A. There you go. All right, gentlemen. Have y'all been asleep? Give the category and the number.
Candy Crush.
200. Okay.
You may ring it. Yeah, can we ring it? Yeah, can we?
Hang on. Put the phone.
Well, this game could just be played and then the next time. we play.
Go and see. Oh, I didn't read you out then. And y'all are purple.
Or yellow.
And you want which one again, see? All right, maybe I'll learn the rules in a minute. All right, to get this tied up, guys, y'all pick a 100-point question just to get it tied up. Right here? All right, guys. Gee, only 116 more seconds. What?
Ring it.
All right, so we're tied up. So now we're ready to rock and roll. All right, I'm going to pick the questions.
Oh, Lord.
And Mr. Trash is going to help me decide who's the first hand up. I'll see how this is now. Y'all see how this is? Okay, here we go. Okay, go ahead. Oh, pick it up, pick the next one. He's too slow. The yellow, all right, the yellow. It is B, so you're red and B.
No, she said B. She didn't say B. She said B.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, well, sorry, that's on me, that's on me. All right, I'm gonna pick another one. In the purple? Okay. A, and you're on the purple team, and you said A. All right. Y'all ready? Hands down. Hands down. Oh, that's close, wasn't it? DeAndre. And you're blue, and you said what? Sorry? D. B. All right, ready? Gray. All right, so Destin. And you are yellow. All right, ready? All right, hands down. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're red. Me.
Y'all's hands all at the same time.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Ready? I love it. I love it. Hands down. Hands down. What now? B, and you're on the red team, and you said B, and the winner is yellow. All right, good job, good job. Copy down this statement right here. Change is what percent of the original. Change is what percent of the original. We're going to talk about percent of increase and percent of decrease problems, okay? Change. Oh, I'm detecting a lack of enthusiasm. Change is what percent of the original. To me, this is the easiest way to do these problems. If you're paying for something and they give you change, how'd they find that? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Subtract. If I want to find the change in temperature this morning and this afternoon, how do I do that? I would subtract. We're going to have to subtract to find the change, and then is means what? Equal to. And then what percent I'm going to be looking for. And then of means times, and then the original price is the original price. It might be the smallest number, it might be the larger number. It depends on if the price went up or down, okay? Now, we're going to use that just momentarily here. All right, most students have a sales tax for certain items. Some states don't, right? Some states you don't pay taxes for groceries, or some people don't have land tax. That'd be great, wouldn't it? But most states have a sales tax for certain items. Linda paid $47.74 for an item priced at $45.25. Find the sales tax rate to the nearest tenth of a percent. All right, we're looking for the percent of increase or decrease. Here's the item, and here's the total. So when I paid tax, I had a percent of increase. Alright, subtract, to find the change, subtract 47.74 minus 45.25. And the answer is 224. Don't you just say it? No. 2.49. Okay, that's so good. All right. So change is what percent of what's the original price before taxes? 45.25. Now that's how I set up the equation. I subtract to find the change. Is and of or obvious. What percent? Obvious. That's my variable. This is my original price. All right. So just divide both sides by 45.25. And let's find the sales tax rate. What do you guys get? We're gonna have to round it, aren't we? All right. So when we're talking about decimals, we've got. It depends on how long, how many digits you have in your calculator, but that keeps going, right? You guys learned about an ellipse in English. It means and so on. Keep going. All right, so if I'm going to make this into a sales tax, I'm looking for the rate, then I need a percent. So I'm going to move this 2 places to the right. And what would the rate be? Rounded to the nearest tenth. Rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent. 5.5. So it'd be 5.5%. 5.5. What's the sales tax here? 9%. Okay. Alright, change is what percent of the original. Find the sales tax rate to the nearest 10th percent if the total paid for an item priced at $50.75 was $54.05. Let you work that one out. Change is what percent of the original. Okay, what is the change? Change is what percent of, and the original price was the price before tax, and we divide both sides by that amount. What's the sales tax rate to the nearest tenth of a percent? So we've got 3.3 divided by 50.75. And we've got this really long decimal. So yeah, it'd be about 6.5%. Agreed? Anybody have a question? Y'all like these jeans? I can make them skinny jeans, I guess.
I'm watching them.
There we go. Since they're $50, we'll make them big. Alright, if you're buying a $50 pair of jeans at 30% off, what's the price? Well, again, that's just driving me crazy. If they're 50% off, or excuse me, if they're 30% off, then they're, how much we left? 70% left, okay? If you're buying $50 pair of jeans at 70% off, so we would say, so what's 70% of 50? So 0.70 times 50 would be, how much would the jeans be? $35. You guys pay $50 for jeans? $100 for jeans? $120 for jeans? Let's talk about Miss Me jeans. How many pairs do y'all have? At our house we have 0. I'm a mean mama. Miss Me jeans. where you got the bedazzled stuff going on, and they're like $100 a pair. They cannot be comfortable. Just sit in that. You get hand me down. That's great. I see, I can go with that. That's great. I just can't imagine. Oh, look, Mom, they're on sale for $90. Really? All right, so $35 at 9% sales tax. Let me show you a shortcut for sales tax. I could multiply by .09, get the tax, and add it back, but here's a shortcut. If you multiply by $1 and then my 9 cents, you won't have to go back and add. That one's going to add the 35 in there for you. So it saves a step. So what's 35 times 1.09? So that would be $38.15. So there's the sales tax shortcut. Do your rate, you put a 1 in front of it, that gives you the total price. Now, if the question said what's the tax, we'd multiply by .09 for this, ask for the price. All right, how do y'all like that television? You like that? Is that pretty? That's a modern version there, isn't it? I have a television in my living room. It's older than I am. That's how old it is. And it's in this cabinet, and it's like a 25-inch screen. And thank you, Hunter. And we watched that up until about 7 years ago when our friends would come over. And you know how when you're watching a ball game, they have statistics going across the bottom and the score. Well, we couldn't see those anymore because their screen was so small it just cut it off. So people were making fun of us when we bought the big TV. So, but it wasn't like this. Now this is a TV back when the remote control was the kid, and you could turn that to channel 3, channel 9, or channel 12 when I lived in Chattanooga. Okay, and in Huntsville, I guess it would be 19, 31, and 48. Go turn that to, and you literally had a knob and it turned. That was the way that the remotes worked back then, okay? They didn't ever run out of batteries. They ran out of patience, but never batteries. All right, if the price of a new television is $1,200 and the discount is 40% off, what is the new price? And if the tax rate is 8.5%, what's the total? Let you figure that out. You guys get $781.20. Good job. Good job. Any questions? All right. Have you ever lived in a house where they were adding on to it? They were taking stuff out and building new rooms. That's so much fun, isn't it? All right. So a family is adding additional rooms to their house. The house originally had 15 square feet of floor space. After the additions are completed, the house will have 1,800 square feet of floor space. Find the percent of increase. All right, how much has the floor space changed? 300. So the change is what percent of, and how much was the original floor space? 1,500, because this is a percent of increase problem, and the floor space is going up. All right, so we're going to divide both sides by 1,500 X equals what? 0.2. And we're finding a percent, so that would be 20%. So they have increased their floor space by 20%. Change is what percent of the original. Do you guys think that sentence is easy to plug into? What if I get on the test and I don't know the sentence? Well, I can't use it. Alright, so just remember, change is what percent of the original. Alright, let you guys try this one. Tomorrow, for the next lesson, part of your homework is to bring a quarter to class. A quarter. If you bring a quarter to class, I will give you bonus points. Can y'all remember? If you're like me, better write yourself a note. Bring a quarter. Put it on the top of your paper you're going to do your homework on or something. It's okay if you want. Alright, 25%. Any questions? It's easy stuff now. Is it getting better as we go? What's the sentence say? Change is what percent of the original? That's sweet. We're going to learn the sentence. Alright. You like my car? Thank you. See, the cool thing about this is I can make it like a Volkswagen, or I can make it look like a sports car, whichever one I want to do. So, how about that? I can save gas, or I can not save gas. Whichever way I want to go. Alright, so the price of the car that originally sold for $17,000 has been reduced to $14,450. What is the percent of decrease in the price of this car? Now remember, my original is my original, and sometimes it's the largest, and sometimes it's the smallest. This is a percent of decrease, so it's actually going to be the largest number. And so what is the change in the price? What's the price?
The change or
Thank you. 2,000. Thanks to no one. 2,550 is what percent of, and the original is $17,000. All right, solve. What's the percent? 15% decrease. Is that a good price on that car? Look at it. Yes.
Do you have to use the equation, or can you just do change over the original?
I'm going to ask you to do the equation just because we're in algebra and we're doing equations. And see, that's what I'm saying. Some of you get it, have got it, have had it. Some of you are like, I never did get that. So that's why I try to give an equation for everybody to understand. All right, you guys try this one. Both ways will work, but. Tell me about it. Maybe you'll make better one day. A lawyer.
No one's gonna take him seriously.
Way things are going, you're going to represent yourself. All right, point 21 or 21%. Any questions at all? never kept my money anywhere except my pocket, but maybe an armpit would be a good place to go. Nobody's gonna look there.
It might be smart.
All right.
And
This
then
is
they
your
try to rob
assignment.
you, they're like, either
This
one.
is your assignment right here. Let's copy this down.